Hello, welcome again. Starting with question number 29. Following data refers to an automate and a center lathe, which are being compared to machine A batch of pairs in the machining shop, in the manufacturing shop. Okay. Automate and center lathe machine setup time in minute 120 and center lathe 30. Machine setup cost in rupees per minute 800 and 150. Machining time per piece in minute 2 and for centimeter is 25. Machining cost in rupees per minute 500 and 100. The automate will be economical if the batch size exceed. Okay. Uh, so first of all we have to calculate the mm, cost of cost that is involved with automate and that involved with central. That to be the quantities to be reduced. Okay. Then the as the automate setup time is your 120 minutes and the setup cost is your 800 per minute. So this setup cost is your 800 into 20, 120. That will be 9600. Okay. 96,000. Okay. And machining cost is your 500 per minute. Okay. And machining time for that uh, for one piece is 2 minutes. So number of minutes involved are so rupees per minute is your sorry. No, rupees per piece is your 500 into 2. Okay, and as few number of quantities are to reduce, so machining cost is your 500 into Q. Okay, so total cost will be this. Similarly, for central lathe, we can calculate the setup cost and then machining cost. Okay, now equating these two and finding out Q. So Q is 61. Okay, so the machining cost, uh, as the machining cost on the automate per unit quantity is less. On the automate per unit quantity is less. Machining cost. Machining cost automate per unit quantity is less, so the automate will be economical. As the machining cost, machining cost So as the machining cost per piece is your 1000 and here the machining cost per piece is your 2500. Okay, so the machining cost for one piece for automatic less. Okay, so the automate will be okay. So as the machining cost per unit quantity is less, so automate will be economical. If Q is more than 61 up to more than 61, the set, up to 61 setup will, cost will be compensated as compared to the second. So automate will be preferred when the quantity is more than 61 because of this low variable cost or low machining cost per piece. Okay, so answer is your 61 and up to 61. This is your this machine will be preferred. Okay. Next, the cylindrical pins of 25 plus 0.020 plus 0.010 diameter are electroplated in a shop. The thickness of plating is 30 plus minus 2 micron. Neglecting gauge tolerances, the size of the go gauge in to inspect the plated component is okay. Here the cylindrical pins are given with the limits given like this. Okay. So the maximum size of the pin is your 25 plus 0.02. Okay. Diameter. Okay. And maximum size of the plating is your 30 plus 2 in micron. Okay. That is in mm. Okay. So the maximum size of the plated component will be diameter plus thickness of plating. Okay, and thickness of plating it will be on either side. Okay, so the maximum size or maximum diameter of the electroplated component is your d plus 2t, and this is d and this is 2t in mm. So answer will be 25.084 mm. Okay, so this will the and the go gauge size would be according to this maximum size. Okay, so answer is here 25.0408. Next, during the electrochemical machining ECM of iron atomic weight 56 valency 2, a current of 1000 ampere with 90% current efficiency material removal rate was observed to be 0.26 gram per second. If the titanium bracket atomic weight 48 and valency 3 is machined by the ECM process at the current of 2000 ampere with 90% current efficiency. The affected material removal rate in gram per second will be option A 0.11, option B 0.23, option C 0.3, and option D 0.52. Okay. So here the atomic weight of iron is 56 and valency is 2 and current is 1000 and efficiency is 90%. Okay. So in electrochemical machining, the metal removal rate is given by AIZF into current efficiency. A is your atomic weight, I is your current, Z is your valency, F is your Faraday's laws. Okay. So atomic weight of the iron is 56 and valency is your 2. Okay, and I is 1000 and current efficiency 900. Okay, and material removal rate is also given. And metal removal rate is given this. Okay, from this we will calculate F. Okay, so F comes out with this. Okay, now for the titanium, the atomic weight is this 48, valence is 3, current is 2000, and current efficiency 90%. Okay, so the material removal rate, so Faraday's constant is, so again by using the same formula AI by ZF into current efficiency, we calculate the metal removal rate. Okay, we calculate the and I'm giving metal removal rate of titanium is empty. We will calculate F. Okay, now F is the Faraday's constant that will be constant for uh, both the processes, whether it is iron or whether it's titanium. Equating these two, we will calculate metal roll rate of titanium. So that is your 0.297 or say zero point 0.3 gram per second. Okay. So answer is option C. The next, the specific enthalpy and velocity of steam at inlet and exit of a steam turbine running under steady state are as given below. Inlet steam condition, specific and exit steam condition. So these are the inlet steam condition, and specific enthalpy are your specific enthalpy is your for inlet steam condition is 3250 kilojoule per kilogram, and velocity is 180 meter per second. And exit steam exit at the exit the enthalpy is 2360 and velocity is 5. Okay. The rate of heat loss from the turbine per kg of steam flow rate is 5 kilowatt. Neglecting changes in potential energy of steam, power delivered in power developed in kilowatt by the steam turbine per kg of steam flow rate is, so this is your inlet condition and this is outlet condition. This is your nozzle, or we can say it is steam turbine. Okay. So at inlet the enthalpy and velocity are given, and at outlet enthalpy and velocity is given. Okay, so we have to calculate the mass flow rate. Okay, so applying steady state flow energy equation between one and two. Okay, for per unit for unit mass. So here it will be h1 plus v1 square by 2, and here it will be h2 plus v2 square by 2. And if we supply heat to it, then this is Q and this is W. Okay, Q and W are added. Okay, so where Q, sorry, if it is rejecting heat, then Q is added, and if it is producing work, W is just work. Okay, or we can write it as where we can subtract Q from this and W from this, for this Q is for heat rejection and W is for heat work done by turbine. Okay, so heat rejection is given, the rate of heat loss is given as 5 kilowatt. Okay, so heat rejection is given 500 or 5000. So by we have all the values. H1 we have 3250 2000, V1 is your 180, and H2 is your 2360. Okay, 2000, and V2 is your 5, and Q is your 5000. So we can calculate W is your 901.187 kilowatt. Okay, 901. Answer is your A. Next, a simply supported beam of length L is subjected to a varying distributed load sin 3 pi x by L Newton per meter, where the distance x is measured from left support. The magnitude of vertical for reaction force in Newton at the left support is A0 B L by 3 pi C L by pi D to L by pi. Okay. So this is the uniformly varying load. Okay. And if the draw its graph, we will graph of the sine curve. Okay, like this. And for the length L. Okay. So we can see that for this length L, this UDL is uniform varying load is, sorry, is symmetrical about the center. Okay. Okay. It is symmetrical about center. Okay. So the area of this graph with as this is uniform bearing load in Newton per meter, so area of this curve with respect to x will give your total load. Okay, so the total load can be determined this by just taking a strip of thickness dx, and where the load is varying like this, and L x is varying from 0 to L, so it is sine 3 pi x by L into dx. Okay, so integrating we have this 2L by 3 pi. Okay, so this is the uh, total load. Uh, Here we get the negative sign. That means the total load is vertically downward. Okay, as this is symmetrical about center, so the it will provide the same reaction at A as at B. So RA will be equal to RB will be equal to 2L by 3 pi divided by 2. So it will be RA will be your L by 3 pi. Answer is your B. Okay, next, the probability that a student knows the answer to a multiple choice question is 2 by 3. If the student does not know the answer, then the student guesses the answer. The probability of the guessed answer being correct is 1 by 4. Given that the student has answered the question correctly, the conditional probability that the student knows the correct answer is A 2 by 3, B 3 by 4, and C 5 by 6, and D 8 by 9. Okay. Let E1 be the event of knowing the answer. Okay. And E2 be the event of not knowing the answer. Okay. Then the PE1 is your 2 by 3, and PE2 is your 1 minus 2 by 3. Okay. That is complement of first event. Okay. So now the probability of giving the correct answer is, let it be 3. Okay. Now when the student knows the answer, the probability of giving the correct answer is just 1. Okay. So this PA by E1 is just 1. Okay. When the student does not know the answer, okay, and he guesses, so that is even 2. Okay. Then the probability of giving the correct answer is just 1 by 4. That is given. Okay. Now using total thermal probability, we can find out PA. So this is PE1, PA slash E by E1 and plus PE2, PA slash by E2. Okay. So we have all the values. PE1 is 2 by 3, PA by slash AE1 by 1, and PE2 is your 1 by 3, and PA by E2 is your 1 by 4. So we have 3 by 4 as PA. Okay. Now, what we have to find? We have to find out the conditional probability that the student knows the answer, knows the correct answer. Okay, the conditional probability that the student knows the correct answer. It means the answer is correct. That is the that event has been occurred. Okay. Now, the correct answer he knows. So conditional probability is the correct answer is given, and if then he doesn't guess. Okay, he gives the correct answer and he doesn't guess, or he knows the answer. Okay, so that is will be given by P1 divided by A. So slash A. So this, according to Bayes theorem, P1 will P1 and PA even divided by PA we have calculated. We have these two terms also. Okay, so this is your PAE1 is your 1, and this is your 2 by 3. So putting the values, we get 8 by 9. Okay, next question number 35. The solution to differential equation d square u by dx square minus k du by dx is equal to 0, where k is constant subjected to boundary condition u is equal to 0 and ul is equal to u, and a. Okay, so we have to find out the solution of this equation. Okay, so these are the options. So options are u is equal to capital U x by L, b u is equal to capital U bracket 1 minus e minus kx divided by 1 minus e kl. Okay, and c u is equal to capital U 1 minus e minus kx divided by 1 minus e minus kl, and u is equal to capital U bracket 1 plus e kx divided by 1 plus kx. Okay, so here this is the differential equation. Okay, so this is your d square. So it can be written as d square minus kd. Okay, is equal to 0. Okay, and its auxiliary equation in terms of m is your m square minus km. Okay, so from this we get m is equal to 0 and m is equal to k, and its solution is your u t1 e mx 1x plus t2 m2x. M1 is your 0 and m2 is your k. So uh, so as the boundary condition at x is equal to 0, at x is equal to 0, u is equal to 0. Okay, so according to this boundary condition, we have C1 plus C2 is equal to 0. Okay, at x is equal to L, u is equal to capital U. Okay, from this we have this u capital U, and this is your C1, this is your C2 KL. Okay, so now we have two equations in terms of C1 and C2. Okay, so this is your this comes out as your C2 1 minus E KL, and this will be minus U. Okay, so C2 is your minus U divided by 1 minus E KL, and C1 is your U divided by 1 minus E KL. Okay, so from this we have to solve these two linear equations. Sorry, two equations for C1 and C2. Okay, so then we can put the value of C1 and C2 in the general equation, in this equation. Okay, C1 plus C2. Okay, So in this situation we can put by using boundary condition we have told C1 or C2 and then putting the value C1 and here C2. Okay, this is your C1 and this is your C1, C2 and this is your okay. So answer will be U is equal to capital U bracket 1 minus E Kx divided by 1 by 1 minus E K. 1 minus E Kx. Answer will be C option. Answer is B option. Minus here it should be. The answer is your answer is your okay, check the I have the question paper, question number 30. So answer is your B. E minus. Okay, answer is B option. Here it should be ETS plus. Answer is B. Next, the value of definite integral integration limit 1 to e root x ln x dx is these are the option 4 by 9 root e cube plus 2 by 9 b 2 by 9 root e cube minus 4 by 9 b 2 by 9 root e cube plus 4 by 9 d 4 by 9 root e cube minus 2 by 9. So this is your integration. This is the your question. So integration by integrating by parts. Okay. So taking this as integral part. Okay. So integrating it x t by 2 and keeping it same ln by x. Okay. And its integration will be x t by 2 by 2 by 2. Okay. Minus x and then differentiating it 1 by x. Okay. And then integrating it x t by 2 by 3 by 2 dx. Okay. And then solving it will give x 1 by 2 and its integration will be again x 3 by 2 by 9 by 4. Okay, so this is your limit. And now this is your integration and now put the limit. Okay, so this will be your 2 by 3 e 3 by 2 ln e. Okay, and minus 4 by 9 e 3 by 2. Okay, and now putting for 1 ln 1 is your 0. Okay, and here it will be plus, so this will be 4 by 9. So so again this will be your 3 by 2 6 this will be 6 minus 4 by 9 e 3 by 2 plus 4 by 9. So answer is your option C. Okay. Next, the following surface integral is to be evaluated over a sphere for a given steady velocity vector field f is equal to xi plus yj plus zk defined with respect to a Cartesian coordinate system having I, J, and K as unit base vectors. So this is given, okay, uh, surface interval of f into 1 by 4 f dot n dA, where s is the sphere x square plus y square plus z square is equal to 1. N is the no is the outward unit normal to the sphere. The value of surface integration is integral is a pi b 2 pi c 3 pi by 4 b 4 pi. So this is your f. This is your equation of sphere. Okay. So according to Gauss dimension, the surface integral can be changed into volume integral, and this will be your f dot n dA will be delta dot f dV. Okay, your delta is your curly by curly x I plus curly by j and curly by curly z k, and f is your this same xi plus yj plus zk. So now solving it, it will be 3 dot product solving it will be 3. Now this can be written as this term can be written as 3 by 4 dV, and volume integration uh, of this will be 3 by 4 into volume V, because there is no V term in it. Okay, so this will be 3 by 4 into volume. So and volume of the sphere is your 4 by 3 pi r cube, and r is your 1. Okay, here the equation of sphere is radius. Okay, so this will be solving it out is will be pi. So answer is your pi, option A. Okay. Next, the function ft satisfies the differential equation d square f dt square plus 6 plus f, sorry, plus f is equal to 0, and auxiliary equation f naught is equal to 0 and df naught by dt is equal to 4. Okay, the Laplace transform ft is given by. So here this is the differential equation, writing it in this d form. Okay, and then auxiliary equation is your this m square. So m is your plus minus 1, and this solution will be then C1 cos mt or C2 sin mt sin t. Okay, okay, here it should be okay. This is the solution of this. Okay, and so putting the given condition f0 is equal to 0, and so if we put t is equal to 0, then this quantity will be 0, so C1 will be 0, and then differentiating it, we will have this df by dt is equal to this. Okay, and differentiation of at x equal to 0 is equal to 4. So putting the value df by dt is equal to 4, so we get c2 equal to 4. So the equation becomes ft is equal to 4 sin t, and taking Laplace both sides. So and we know that Laplace sin t is 1 plus s square plus 1. So answer is 4 by s square plus 1 equal to 6. So this differential equation can also be solved as by taking it as C1 is equal to E mx plus C2 is equal to, sorry, Ft is equal to C1 E mx and plus C2 is equal to E minus mx. Sorry, m1x and m2x. Okay, m1 and m2 are 1 and 1 and minus 1. Then we can apply the formula of this EF and E minus x, or then we can put the boundary condition. Okay, and apply the formula in terms of Austrian finding. Okay, next, a wheel connected to a punching machine has to supply energy of 400 Newton meter while running at a mean angular speed of 20 radian per second. If the total fluctuation of speed is not to exceed plus minus 2% of the mass moment of inertia of the flywheel, Then the mass measurement of nature of flywheel is in kilogram meter scale. Okay. Here the mean angular speed is 20 radians per second. Okay. And the fluctuation speed is plus minus 2%. So the maximum speed will be greater than 2% of the mean speed. So maximum speed is 20.4 and minimum speed is 20 minus 20 into 2 by 100, that is omega 2. Okay. So this is your maximum speed, this is maximum speed, minimum speed. And so we can find out the change in energy. Okay, and maximum energy is I by 2 omega 1 scale and minus I by 2 omega 2 scale. Okay, so this is your fluctuation of energy. So energy, fluctuation of energy is your 4000. Okay, as flywheel, the amount of energy that flywheel supply to the bunching machine is the fluctuation of energy. Okay, so because only that amount the flywheel can store in it. Okay. So this is your the fluctuation energy is 400 newton meter. So now putting the value of omega 1 and omega 2, we can find out I. So I is your 25 kilogram meter के so answer is your A. Next, a single riveted lap joint of two similar plates as shown in the figure below has the following geometrical and material details. So this is the lap joint with width W and P load is acting on it and thickness of the plates are P and P. Okay. The plate width W is 200 mm, plate thickness T 5 mm, number of rivets and we got 3 rivet diameter DR 10 mm, rivet diameter hole DN is equal to 11 mm, allowable tensile stress of the plate sigma P is equal to 200 MPa, allowable bearing stress of the rivet sigma C is equal to 150 MPa. If the plates are designed to avoid tearing failure, the maximum permissible load in kilonewton is okay. So as the rivet diameter is 10 mm and rivet hole diameter is just 11 mm, so the plate width is your 200 mm. Okay. So the actual and there are three rivets per unit width. Okay. So the actual width that is available for the plate is your W minus the diameter of holes. Okay. So actual width is your W minus 3DH. Okay. And T is the thickness of the plate. So area of the plate is area that is resisting the tensile load or P load is this. Okay, so this is the area and the tensile load is your P. Okay, and let P the tensile load. Okay, and tensile stress is your 200 MPa. Okay, so the area is your 835. So tensile load will be multiplication of these two. So that will be 16700 Newton or 167 kilonewton. So answer is your C. Next, two tools are being compared for machining operation. The tool life equations are carbide tool VT 1.6 3000 and HS tool VT zero point 0.6 is equal to 200. Where V is the cutting speed in meter per minute and T is the tool life in minute. The carbide tool will provide higher tool life if the cutting speed in meter per minute exceeds A 15, B 39.4, C 49.3, D 60. Okay. So this is the carbide tool. Okay. And carbide tool is equation is this and SS tool equation is this. Okay. Now to have same tool life. Okay. At V. Okay. Suppose we have both are having same tool. There will be a speed at which the both uh, carbide tool and the HS tool will have same tool life. Okay, suppose D and T same for both. Okay, and if we divide these two equations, we will get T is equal to 3000 by 240 will be 50. So when the tool life is 15 minutes, then the speed of the both the tools will be same. Okay, so that speed will be, we can put in either the equation. That speed will be 39.389 meter per minute. Okay, so say it is 40. Okay, say now sorry, this is 39.389. If we take 40 speed, okay, then the tool life for the first carbide tool is just 14.85 minutes. Okay, we can use this putting in the equation of carbide. Okay, now if we take and for HS tool, the tool life will be 14.62 minutes. Okay, okay. So for 40 minutes, the tool life of the carbide tool will be higher uh, than than the for HST. Okay, so as the tool life has been increased, okay, sorry, as the velocity has been increased, the tool life for carbide tool is more. Okay, so at 39.4, okay, at 39.4, okay, the carbide tool will provide higher tool life. Okay, at 40, at 39.4, when the tool life is exceeding the 39.4, then the sorry, when the velocity is exceeding 39.4, the tool the carbide tool will provide higher tool life. Okay, so answer is your B. We have checked from the value of taking an example of quantity. That is answer is your B. Next, in a CAD package mirror image of a 2D point 5P, sorry, in a CAD package mirror image of a 2D point P 510 is to be obtained about a line which passes through the origin and makes an angle of 45 degree counterclockwise with x-axis. The coordinate of the transferred point will be option A 7.55, B 10.5, C 7.5 minus 5, D 10 minus 5. Okay, so this is your mirror. Okay, and it is placed at 45 degree. Okay, so this angle is 45 degree, and this point is P. This is five. This coordinate of this point is 510. Okay, and mirror image of this will be P dash. Okay, so this angle theta one and this angle will be same because we are assuming a mirror here. Okay, so so first of all, we have to find out this theta one. Okay, where the y coordinate is your 10 and x is your 5. Okay, so we can find out this theta. Okay, so this theta is your 10 by 5. So this is your 63.43, and so theta one will be your 63.43 minus 45. So this is your theta one. So this is will be also be your theta one. Okay, okay. So theta one dash will be 18.435 and your theta dash. So this theta dash will be your 45. This theta dash. This is your 18. This is your 52. Oh, sorry. This theta dash will be your 45 minus this or theta minus this. Okay. Theta minus 2 of this. Okay. So this will be your 26.56. Okay. Now we have to find out the coordinate of this point. Now we have this theta dash. Okay. So from this we can find out tangent theta dash, and as this OP is sorry, OP dash is the projection of this OP. So the length of OP and length of OP dash will be same. Okay. So length of OP dash is your 11.18, and the ratio of these is sorry So the y component of OP dash will be your sine theta and x component will be your cos theta. So the answer is 5 and 5 is your 5 and this is your 10. Answer is your 10 and 5. Okay. So this can also be solved by using matrix, but okay, you can take it uh, in book of robotics. Okay, so this is the easiest method. This is the basic method to solve this question. Okay, next, in a water jet machining, the water jet is issued through a 0.3 mm diameter orifice at a pressure of 400 MPa. The density of water is 1000 kilogram per meter cube. The coefficient of discharge is 1.0. Neglecting all the losses during water jet formation through the orifice, the power of the water jet in kilowatt is option A 25.3, option B 50.6, option C 75.9, and option D 101.9. Okay. Now the pressure is your 400 MPa. Okay, and in the orifice the pressure energy will be converted into kinetic energy. So the pressure at the here 400 divided by 400 to 10 power 6 divided by rho g, and your kinetic energy will be v square by 2g. Okay, so this is your pressure 400. Okay, so now all things are known as water is the fluid. Okay, so it's, rho is your 1000. Okay, so we can find out velocity. Okay, so after as diameter of the orifice is given, so we can find out the mass flow rate. Okay, or by finding out area. Area is this. Okay, and discharge is your AV. Okay, so and mass flow rate is your 1000 into A into V. So that will be 0.0639. And then as velocity is known, okay, so we can find out kinetic energy per second because mass per second is known. Okay, so this is your, so by making some calculation we can have this power as 40 25.3. So we stop here and we'll come back after. Okay.